Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about some Promise Reborn expansions. Specifically, we'll be talking about Promise Explored. We'll be talking about Promise Tested. And we'll be talking about Promise at War. At War.
Yes, this is by ANSR Games. Maybe it's Answer Games? We don't know. But it's ANSR for sure. And you can phonetically spell it however you want. All right, so we've already talked about Promise Reborn. This is a super fast deck building game.
Yeah.
Really, really light, really, really fast. We enjoyed it. We've already actually reviewed it, so I'll go ahead and put the link below in the comments, or not the comment section, in the description section below, so that way you can check that out if you want. So we're not going to go through a whole teach necessarily, but just know that it's a super, super fast deck building game. Really light, really fast, and we liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But there's expansions that we wanted to talk about. All right, so let's go through and talk about them one by one.
Ooh.
All right, so first of all, this is not an expansion. This is a big old box that couldn't hold all of it all together. But they were smart, and to give you a reason to buy it, besides just holding it, they put a dice in here as well. This is what they call the Explored expansion. It's just basically a dice. You can spend 4 of your strength, which is the currency in the game, in order to roll this dice and get some special benefit. Maybe it's going to be more strength. Maybe you get 8 strength out of it.
Maybe you get cards.
Maybe you can draw a bunch of cards. Yeah. Maybe you actually lose strength. There's a kind of some bad elements in there as well. But this is by itself. It's just a little expansion. You can combine this with any of the other expansions. Just adds a little bit of chaos, a little bit of randomness. We liked it. It was fun.
And it was fun because sometimes you might have 4 strength and have nothing to do with it. Like, you can't buy anything, and you can't put anything into your kingdom. You literally have nothing that you can do with it. And so it was nice to have that as an option so you didn't feel like you were wasting your turn.
Oh, yeah. All right, the next one we want to talk about is Promise at War. Now, this expansion adds a little bit more of that dueling aspect, right?
Yeah.
Where it's
not a race anymore.
Yeah, exactly. This is what you're doing now, is you're trying to beat down the other player's walls, trying to defeat their city. That's kind of thematically how we put it anyways. You start with this, this big card that's almost, impossible to beat with your starting hand. It's worth 12 strength, and you're just like, cannot defeat that. But eventually you're going to have enough cards to beat it. So what are you going to do? You have to build up walls to defend it. So you can add cards, basically put it in your realm. It kind of takes place on top of that. So you're going to add your realm cards on top of it as defense. Also, there's defensive cards that you can buy, so when you get attacked, you can play those to kind of bring down their strength, your opponent's strength. That way you can kind of help save some of those cards that are protecting your city.
So we liked this one, but one of the selling points about Promise Reborn is how freaking quick it is. You still get a full game in such a short amount of time. And I felt like with this one, it just added so much more time to the game.
We had a game recently where... so basically what I would do on my turn is I would build a wall, and then I'd tear down the top wall of her realm. And then on her turn...
Guess what I would do?
She would build a wall, and then she'd tear down the top part of my realm.
And it was just like that for a very, very, very long time. I felt like nothing was happening in the game, that we weren't progressing.
We'd stalled out,
Yeah.
And, we try to, to get 2 cards. But then on their turn, they just build back up 2 cards. And it was just this kind of like this back and forth.
I mean, if you like dueling games, if you like dueling card games, you'll probably enjoy this as well, because it probably is still shorter than typical ones. It's just not what we would naturally gravitate towards.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the reason we gravitate towards Promise Reborn is the fact that it is so fast.
Yeah.
And so when we're choosing between 2 different deck builders, and we're like, we only got time for a short one, let's get Promise Reborn out, yeah! And then it's like... Okay, we had time for a big game. We have enough time for 45 minutes a deck building game. We're not going to choose Reborn or Promise with the at War expansion.
Yeah.
That being said, we still have a good time with it. It's just for us, at least, in the way our play styles match up with it, it seems like the time added does not make it worth the playtime.
But you know what we might play with?
Promise Tested. Now, this is a cooperative version of the game.
Wait. That was a great segue, guys. I'm really proud of myself. Okay,
we gotta give credit where credit's due. We love cooperative games. Yeah. Seriously, we can't get enough cooperative games in our collection, and this does it. And again, it does it in a super fast package.
Yes.
basically what's happening is there's this test deck. There's all these tests that are going to come up. There's different challenges that are occurring. And whatever card is on top of that test challenge deck is what challenge you're facing at the moment. And this also introduces the concept of the buried pile. Cards are going to get buried, which is a good thing usually. And if 10 of these test cards get buried, then we win the game. Not that we would know, because we never win.
Yeah.
But
you all know that's how I like to play. You know that if I can't be destroyed by a cooperative game, then I don't want anything. I don't want it at all.
Yeah. And on top of that, there's a bunch of variants that you can add in to make it tougher. We haven't even needed to add those to make it tougher. Because just because we like tough games doesn't mean we're good at them.
Yeah, maybe the reason why we like cooperative so much is because we're just so bad at them.
And it's we're losing together. It's like we're bonding.
Yeah.
All right, so but these different cards are going to come up every so often based off how much strength and power, or how much points are out there, how much prosperity. That's what I'm looking for. Is out there on the board, and if there's too much, then more cards come out. More of these test cards come out, and that is bad news, Bears. So if 6 cards of those test cards come out in that stack, you lose. But if you can get 10 in the buried pile by completing them, then you win. And
it's fun because you try to cooperate with each other on what cards to buy, or maybe don't buy any cards and just shuffle through because you already have 4 or 5 out there, and maybe you shouldn't just buy any cards. I finally figured out how we lost that last game. We just kept buying cards, and we just
we needed more strength, but we couldn't.
Yeah.
The more strength we got, the more prosperity was showing up, which means the more cards were showing up, which meant more test cards came out. But it's really
fun just to see how you can use the exact same cards and have a completely different game while working together on that. And it was, I liked this one.
Because at the same time, you're still always using the Reborn cards at the core of it, and then they're adding on these extra decks, whether the at-war decks or the tested decks. So it's all just a really, really cool, simple
but they don't go together.
Correct. I do want to point that out. A lot of times expansions can stack together and you can compile them all at once. Yeah. Obviously, you can't cooperate and be at war at the same time. Not combinable.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that describes a lot of marriages, though.
Right. They are at war, and therefore they are tested.
Yes. Well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you want to hear, make sure to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come up. And then follow us in all the places. On Facebook, we are Ryan Bethany Board Game Reviews. On Twitter, we are Ryan Bethany 1. And on Instagram, we are Ryan and Bethany.
All right, you guys, thanks for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye.